Welcome, Sojourners, to the Women's Leadership Mindset series presented by Teresa K. Page, LLC. My name is Teresa Page. I am your host and looking forward to spending these next few moments with all of you. We have a lot of work to get done on today, but first, allow me to invite you to connect with me by subscribing to my website and YouTube channel. Connect and follow me on LinkedIn, and always feel free to contact me directly via email at teresakpagellc@outlook.com. So what is our goal? Well, as an author, speaker, coach, and mentor, my mission is to help professional women renew their leadership mindset with fresh fire and purpose through the mediums of leadership development and coaching services. However, the Women's Leadership Mindset series is a new initiative intended to spotlight powerful women leaders and how they serve the world through their professions and purpose. So with the goal to help women realize their unfulfilled dreams and re-energize the leaders they always were, this platform is designed to enhance, empower, educate, equalize, and even emancipate, as our special guests share their entrepreneurial stories, provide valuable resources, and guidance in a caring, professional, and impactful manner. So, let's get down to business. In today's video, it is my pleasure to welcome to my virtual stage Dr. Syreeta Bond of Edgy, Opulence Lifestyle Branding Company. Dr. Bond's career spans 20 years as an in-demand expert in the project management industry, working with top-tier brands like Apple Inc. and Barclays Bank. She has also served as the VP of Technology for the Project Management Institute, PMI, Los Angeles Chapter Board of Directors, and as an Assistant VP of Marketing for the Project Management Institute, UAE Collegiate Chapter in Dubai. Dr. Bond also served as a chapter president for the National Society of Leadership and Success. Dr. Bond earned her doctorate in business administration from Walden University, where her study is published on Google Scholar. She earned her master's of business administration from Keller Graduate School of Management, magna cum laude, with a concentration in project management. Her PMP global certification from the Project Management Institute, and lastly, her undergraduate degree in fashion design and retail management from the Art Institute of Atlanta. Dr. Bond is the founder and creator of Edgy Opulence Lifestyle Branding Company, a consulting firm that offers a wide range of consulting services with the necessary tools and expertise to help grow your business. EOL Branding co-partners with global clients from start to finish, focusing on their needs while producing new ideas, developing effective strategies, and designing high-quality and scalable solutions. She also shared her knowledge on social media with her IGTV series, Syreeta's Project Management Tips, which provides new and seasoned PMs the confidence, motivation, and drive to keep moving forward in their careers. As a growing influencer in the project management space, Dr. Bond is a content creator for women of color, mothers, and project managers, navigating the difficulties of the industry while managing work-life balance and mental health. Lastly, Dr. Bond is the owner and designer of Lipstick Killers Collection, a line designed for the fearless, risk taker, and hustler. It's a chick punk line that lets the world know that women are not afraid to show their true selves inside and out. LKC accessories are all shipped from the USA, with the current clothing collection featuring tees, tops, and skirts, shipped sustainable and local. Because LKC is a sustainable company, they vow to offset their carbon footprint and give back to the earth. LKC and Dr. Bond's sustainability goals have been featured in PMI's Hours of Impact in 2022. So to contact Dr. Syreeta Bond, you may reach her on her website at www.edgyopulencebranding.world. Her email is edgyopulencelifestyle@gmail.com. You can also reach her on social media. You can follow her at the Fashionable PMP on Instagram and Threads, and you can follow her at Fashionable PMP on X. You may also follow her in regards to her fashion line on Instagram at Lipstick Killers Co. Official. So we'll bring this information back to you along with Dr. Bond's free gift before we go. But right now we want to say welcome to you, Dr. Bond. How are you?
Wonderful. That was so long. I was like, oh Lord, you could have cut it. It's a lot to say.
Well, you know, it's such an honor to be with you. I have known you for so many years, so this is a true honor for me. So we're going to take our time and let the world know how amazing you are. I am just so proud of you. So proud of you. So excited to have you here and to jump into this conversation. So we're going to go ahead and get to it, Dr. Bond. So we're going to start here. Why don't you tell us just a little bit about yourself?
Oh Lord, what else? But right now, so I am a project manager for Apple Incorporated right now. So I work on new product introductions. I'm a global project manager. But outside of my full-time job, of course, as you heard, I'm a writer. I have my new book coming out soon next year. I'm also a fashion business owner, so I do everything sustainably. I'm a mom. 40. I was pregnant at 42 and didn't think it was ever going to happen, but you know, God's timing.
Absolutely.
And she'll be 2, and she is she's a lot. She get it from her mother. She don't get it from me.
She don't get it from you?
I don't think so. She is rotten. Oh, been terrible twos. But she'll be 2 in December. Yeah, wife, and just, you know, moving around. I've lived almost all over different coasts, different countries. But I'm finally in Texas. And I think I'm stay here for a little bit. We'll see. We'll see. But yeah, so, you know, I'm just trying to motivate Black and brown women all over the world, you know, always encouraging people as far as project management, how it could, you know, basically you can make it a part of every part of your life, every facet of your life. Just want to share that message, share the knowledge that I have with everyone. So those are like my main passions, and that's a little bit about me.
Well, we're going to kind of stay in that vein, Dr. Bond, because I know that you have, I will say more so on your traditional career path. It seems that project management is what you do, that you're definitely, that's the thing that you do. That's your area. And we also have the consulting firm side. So I would like for you to kind of tell us a little bit more about project management, what that means to you, what impact that you're doing. And then after that, let's step into Edgy Opulence as well and really just kind of focus on your personal endeavors with your business. So kind of start with what you're doing in your career and then shift over into your personal endeavors for us.
Yeah, so I've been, wow, project management. When I first started getting into what project management was I would say like 10 years ago. Maybe more than that. It's been such a long journey. But basically, as a project manager, you're managing projects, and it's like you have an open and a closing date. Like it's just a short time frame. It could be long, it could be short, it could be a big project, small project. But I got into it from 2 friends of mine. they were saying, hey, well, actually, no, let me go back. I got into it from two friends of mine. One, we used to work together, and he went from being full-time to being like super part-time, like only working 1 day a week. And I asked him, I said, well, what are you doing now? How come you only work part-time? And he's like, oh, I'm a project manager now. And I was like, well, what? I said, what's a project manager? And he said, exactly what you do. I was like, what? Okay. And then I ran into another friend of mine who she came over my apartment. This is when I was doing like alterations and still sewing and doing all my manufacturing at home in the fashion business. And she came over so I could make some alterations on, I think, like a couple of dresses that she had. And she had an Emiratis t-shirt on. And I said, what's Emiratis? She said, oh, that's the airline. I just came from Dubai. And I was like, what? How did you get over there? She's like, oh, my homegirl's a project manager and I'm studying to be a project manager too. So once I heard two people say that, I was like, I need to get into project management. And so like I studied it, I changed my MBA around. I just graduated with my BA and I was going to do just like a regular plain old MBA, but then I found out that I could change my concentration to project management. So this was just all like divine timing. Like I just felt like, okay, this is like the universe is saying you need to get into project management. So I changed my MBA to be project management focused. And once I got into like the concepts and like being a part of PMI, Project Management Institute, becoming a member and really digging into it, I was like, oh my God, this is something that I do already. And then so I graduated with my MBA with the concentration, and soon later, it's like soon after, I became PMP certified. And once I became PMP certified, that's when everything just kind of like catapulted. Once you get that certification, it's like over. Well, actually, it's not over. It's the beginning of a
It's the
new.
beginning.
Yeah,
Yes.
like you get opportunities. Like it's like they put the word out, like we got a new project manager and she's certified. So you get calls, you get people like recruiters hitting you up. The opportunities just started flowing from there. And once I really got into the role, I had different positions in different areas of the business with Apple. But once I really dug into the role and kind of like really tapped into the basic concepts of project management, it just changed. Like it changed my career and it changed my passion for what I really wanted to do. And I'm like, oh my God, like I'm really good at this. And I feel like I can kind of like take it to just the next level and the next level and the next level. So then when I went over into the international space, so I ended up actually moving to Dubai, which is, I'm telling you, like it's the signs. I was like, look at God, like it just came, it just happened. I actually transferred to Dubai and was living there. And that's when I honed in on the international side. And then that's when my doctoral journey started because I seen how so many, being in an international space is completely different for one, culturally, leadership wise, the way the business operates, all the operations part. There's so many different variables involved in projects there, and there are a lot of gaps that could be filled. So that's where I was like, okay, you know what? I may just need to go ahead and start doing consulting because who, like companies that are global, do they really understand how the international space works? So that's where it kind of like migrated. So, and then I was like, okay, I'm going to do like strategic project management. And that's where my study came from. That's when my doctoral study started, that's when I was like, okay, I'm focusing on these because it matters. You need different strategy when you're doing a global project, and you need to, when you're doing business in the international space, there's just different, totally different concepts and stuff like that. So that's where my study came from. And my research was from there. And that's when I was like, okay, I'm going to do consulting on that because when I came back from Dubai and transferred to the West Coast, I was an international, like a global campaigns project manager. And they was so grateful that someone came with that knowledge because a lot of people knew what it took as far as like global campaigns, who the network was there, who to contact out there. Like I knew everybody out there because I worked with them. So it was a perfect transition. And now that I'm in a totally different role now, working on new products, it kind of just all blends in together because all my campaigns are international campaigns, like they're worldwide campaigns. So it's just a blessing to have that knowledge of how the international space work and what to look out for, what, you know, so you can mitigate your risk as much as possible. So yeah, like it's just, yeah, that's kind of like how I got into it and how I'm still growing every day.
Well, I absolutely love that because some of the journey I got a chance to see when you were starting out in that journey,
Yay.
headed to Dubai. You was like, I'm going to Dubai, and you was gone. I mean,
I think I hit you. I was like, Miss Teresa, I need, oh yeah, because I needed my MBA. I needed my
there was
actual
something that you
diploma.
needed, some type of
And I was
documentation,
like, I
and
need it like now. You were like, girl,
you were for real, and you was gone.
I need it now. Miss Teresa, please pull some strings. I need my diploma now because I'm getting ready to leave in like a week.
And I was so proud of you. Was so proud of you for taking that leap, especially as a woman of color, to just really take your family and to have that support system. There was something that you said that was really important just now, and everything that you have said is awesome. And thank you for taking us on this journey. But there was something that you said that a lot of businesses don't really understand the international space. So for some of the entrepreneurs that are listening, regardless of what industry that they're in or what goods or service that they provide. And I know that you are a great resource as far as with your consulting firm, but where would an organization plug into right here in the States for those who are in the business space, the small business administration or the small business development centers, their local small business development centers are great resources for them to go to as far as starting out in that business space. But what resources are available to businesses who look to step into that international space? What kind of guidance could you give to individuals? I realize we can't get too far into a deep dive, but what would be some
Yeah.
surface tips, or at least directing them in the right, pointing them in the right direction?
Right. Well, I mean, the world is huge. So if you wanted to really tap into the global space, for one, I first need to know like what market you're aiming for, because different markets have different, of course, like business processes and operations. It's the legal and government, like how would you say that? Restrictions, so to speak. It's just, oh my gosh, it's so different. Like no one operates like America, even though it
Yes.
may seem that way. They do things so different over there. So it really depends. So we really need to nail down one, what is your area? Like what is your target location that you want to do business in? And then we can go from there. But have a general knowledge of how to operate a business there. Do you need to, it's kind of like how we have to be registered state to state here. But you're talking country to country. They're not broken out by states, they're broken out by country over there. So you kind of need to get a good grasp on what those government like regulations are, things like that. And then the type of work that you want to do there. Are you doing like services? Are you doing product? You know, is it just going to be something that's internet based? Because internet is global, which is really fairly like very easy to convert over. But when you're actually doing like physical locations, what does that look like? So there are a lot of questions that you want to ask up front to even just get your mind thinking about does it look like to operate in that global space. And then once we like answer some basic questions, then we can get into the nitty gritty, the politics of it, the government, the regulations, the legal part of it. You know, what does that process look like? And then also there's the other side too, culturally. Culturally, are you going to hire a group locally? Are you going to have, hire someone here that has that experience, or are you just going to wing it and do it yourself? So it's that piece of it too. And then understanding how they operate from a culture perspective. Not everybody works the same. Not everybody moves with a sense of urgency, which was very hard for me to adjust to because I'm like this. I don't play. Like I'm like, let's go. If there's a deadline, I don't want to. The deadline is late to me. I want to do everything ahead. A lot of people don't operate that way. They're like, what are you?
Well, definitely
Yeah.
that proactiveness, I believe, will help. So I like that concept of doing that research, basically doing your footwork before getting some understanding about the general knowledge, government regulations, whether you're going to do business online or physical. And
Yeah.
that whole culture thing is a big deal. So thank you for giving
Yeah.
us at least some guidelines on some of those as far as the research path there. So we're going to go ahead and push forward. So thank you so much for giving us some insight about what you do in your career and all of that. So I want you to talk a little bit about Edgy Opulence and as far as what services that you offer there, and what motivated you to start Edgy Opulence. I know that it kind of blended into your work with project management, but talk a little bit more specifically about Edgy Opulence.
Well, Edgy Opulence lifestyle, it started when I moved to Dubai, actually, because I actually, when I moved there, I shut down my fashion business because I wasn't sure, not knowing, I wasn't sure like if I could even keep it going while I was there. So I decided to shut it down because I knew it was just going to be a huge shift. Moving into the Middle East, like from America to the Middle East. And this was 6 years ago, 6 years ago. So the world was in a different place at the time too. So I just went ahead and was like, okay, I'm just going to go out here just to work, but then I'm in, build up. And once I get to know how everything operates, I'll kind of like do my own thing. And that's what I did. So that's when I started volunteering and like getting my business network up when I moved out there. But I still kept my fashion business down, shut down while I was there. But then, so Edgy Opulence Lifestyle started as a blog because I'm edgy, I'm living in this very opulent place, but I'm someone that is like a real risk-taking, fearless, like have this like edgy side of me too. So that's where Edgy Opulence Lifestyle was born. And I started my blog. So that entire like concept is like, okay, looking at the stones or the coal before it turns into diamonds, but also like appreciating the diamonds as well. So it's like building up from the ground up or building out something out of chaos into something beautiful. And that's what my goal was like, okay, when it comes down to the consulting piece of it, like, wow, how does a company go global? I can help with that now because I have experience working with almost every culture, so to speak.
Mhm.
Like I said, like global campaigns, I did like global work for the Middle East, for Africa, for Asia, for the Nordics, for Europe. That pretty much is like solid down to everybody. So I'm like, okay, I know how they get down everywhere. So I can help you with that. So like what does that look like for you? I can help you as far as like converting into like a global mindset in the global space and how to get your strategy down. But then there's also with Edgy Opulence, there's more so like there's the blog side, there's the fashion side, like, how does, what does the opulent look like overseas? So I covered a lot of like different restaurants and things like that. I even did a little bit of real estate, like showing like different real estate housing in Dubai and things like that. But that's just like it was more so just for the content and just like sharing different spaces and things like that and culture and how they get down and what's luxury to them. So there's a whole like umbrella with that whole Edgy Opulence lifestyle concept. But yeah, the strategic and project management space is the main meat and potatoes of it, and how we get you to that international space and how we help your business grow in that international space.
Well, that's amazing. So just really quickly, definitely being in a different culture, you know, I know that here in the States, it's always been said, and especially in Atlanta, in the Atlanta region, it was always said that people do like to work with people that they know, that they like, and they trust. So in the international space, and with being exposed to different types of culture, how did you go about building trust, either with some of your clients that you were starting to establish relationships with, or just maybe some of your other stakeholders? How did you create that realm of trust, especially in a diverse cultural
Mm,
environment?
yes, that was very tricky, because I'm an extrovert, even though people find it hard to believe that I used to be this like super duper shy girl when I was like growing up. I don't know why it's hard to believe, but I was like in high school. I was just like I was so shy. I don't know when that changed, but I just know it changed. But so I'm an extrovert. So I love networking. I love meeting people. I always come to a place with very positive attitude, excited. If I'm going somewhere, if I'm a part of something, or if I'm just like attending, I'm there to learn and I'm there to like network, and I'm going to introduce myself to you, which is it's not necessarily culturally different in the Middle East, but women are not so outgoing in that space. So I
Okay,
attracted people just off the strength of how I was like, they're like, who are you? Like, you're not from here. So, and that was kind of like, okay, I would say that it didn't really drive people away because they were just interested in who I am and where I'm from. But at the same time, it's not like, it's just different. Like you have to, like I didn't treat it like, okay, I'm gonna talk to every guy in here. Like I didn't do that. Because
right,
I knew like, okay, I can approach women, but I would have to wait for like a man to be like, hey, how you doing? And like not shake hands, nothing. Like it's just the way we get down is different. Like in America, you can be like, hey, what's up, bro? And give a hug to a guy, and you don't even know him.
right.
No, not over there. Like you just can't.
No such
You
thing.
don't
Okay.
touch nobody. Don't touch nobody. Don't touch nobody. So that was just like I was like, hey, how you doing? Nice to meet you. Yes. But so I gained that trust because they were just like, okay, this girl is crazy. This is a crazy American, but but she has very like knowledge. So they would. The thing is that people ask you a lot of questions. I was intrigued by them. I wanted to ask them questions, but they were asking me questions. And that's how that culture operates. They ask a lot of questions to see what could they relate to you on. And as long as, that's something that a lot of people just have to get used to because like I'm an open book. So they, certain questions, I was just like, okay, that's, you don't know that that's offensive, but you just asked me something like crazy. But most questions, like if you just, like I'm a friendly person. So like, oh yeah, this, and this. Oh wow. And it's funny how like you can relate to so many people, even though you're from totally different places.
Right.
We all have the same problems. We all have the same family drama, which is hilarious. We all like the same music, which is even more like crazy. Like everybody loves rap, everybody loves hip hop, everybody just loves it. The key differences culturally, of course, is like religion. That's very, different, especially in the Middle East. But there's also a lot of relationship building with that. Just having a conversation right there, and they're like, "Oh, you're so nice, you're so cool." Now because I've gotten to know you and you've actually like held a conversation with me, now I can say, "Okay, so what? Like, how can I help you?" Like it's just
Right.
that. So it usually starts off with a conversation. There's more than like there's food involved. Food is a very big thing. Tea, food, coffee, like all of that. Like that, you'd be just so surprised. Like you could just have tea with somebody and talk generally about anything. And because they like your point of view, they're like, okay, so now let's get down to business. And you're just like, oh, all right, now we want to talk about business. Okay. And then it's actually like, they're like, you know what? No, let's do it. It could be as simple as that. It could just go just that, like as smooth as that conversation was, your business could be done and you automatically got a client within like an hour. It's crazy. It's crazy. But that's just how they roll. And that's how I gained a lot of trust, just being open, being myself, being friendly, answering a lot of questions, wanting to ask a lot of questions, couldn't get him in there because I was like the person that was intriguing it down. But also being respectful too. Definitely respecting where I was and respecting my environment and things like that. But still being me. I'm sorry, I cannot not be authentic. I'm still going to be the way I am. And if it rubbed some people the wrong way, or if they were just like, but that's fine. That's fine, you know.
Absolutely. Well, that's great. So I love the way that you express how you established that partnership. It was more so, it seems more so about really just getting an understanding of people, regardless of where you're from, and finding that common place. And I think that's amazing. So along with that same vein, as you know, with Teresa K Page LLC, one of the things my foundation is being able to employ love as that ultimate success factor to help women to renew their leadership mindset with fresh fire and purpose. So I'm curious, as we prepare to wind down our conversation, how do you implement love either in your career space or in your with Edgy Opulence? How do you implement love in a way that to serve those that you work with?
Oh, the biggest thing, um, and it's, I would say to have a huge level of empathy because, man, oh man, it like, even though I had a really, really good time being overseas and I met a lot of wonderful people, it was still very traumatizing in certain situations. Not, not have like ever experiencing certain situations before. And just dealing with like different types of cultures and like I said, like being a woman, being a Black woman, being from America, like certain things, certain conversations that I had, or even straight up arguments or debates about like our country and like just, it was just weird. So I always come from a place of empathy because those like really tough conversations or arguments or debates that I had or situations that I had, the people that they were with really were like, that's how they were. Like they did not experience ever living in America, or they like, it was just, that's just how they are socially. And you're like, so you have to have a level of understanding, and you just never know what anyone's going through. So I have a huge level of empathy for people from different cultures because I don't know what happened, or it, I've heard some crazy stories like people
Wow.
do escape from countries or from situations or from war and things like that, come somewhere with nothing, or it's, and you're just like, wow.
Wow.
So no wonder you're like just straight up like, don't sugarcoat nothing, talk to me like a human being. Like, and some people, they want you to be tough, like, but some people you have to be super sensitive with. So those are the things that I've learned, and but always come from a place of empathy. And even though you may not have that same empathy reciprocated back to you,
Yeah,
that's the hard part.
that's the hard part.
That's the hard part, because you're just like, what? You just disrespected the hell out of me. Like, what you do realize what you just said. Like, but they don't know. They don't know. They really don't
Right.
know. And I do that at, even though like I'm kind of like out of that space now, and back like at home, and we all know how to talk to each other, and because we all from America, and it's just like totally different conversations. Like we're just like free. We all like, hey, we can say whatever, we can do whatever. But still, you never know. Like you never know what someone's going through. And so it's just like as a leader, and even if you're not like a leader that has like direct reports and things like that, but you are a leader in your role no matter what. Especially if you are a minority and you're like the only in the room. You're a leader. You're leading. You're paving the way. You're breaking the barrier. Straight up. It's just that's the way it is. So you always have to have that like level of empathy with with your peers, with people that work around you, like being open, being receptive, but also like giving. You have to be grateful and give back and share and just be present and all of the things. And is it hard? Yes, it is
Yeah.
hard. Like I don't always like being, like, oh, I don't feel like doing nothing today. I have my days. I'm human. I'm just like, okay, I don't even want to hear it. Like, of course, like some days I have no patience. But my daughter resets all of that for me.
Absolutely.
Even I might not have patience with nobody else, but I have patience with her. And that resets my, okay, let me be patient and let me actually like be nice.
Yes, yes, yes.
I don't feel like it. So yeah, it's something that you have to grow and learn and work on every single day.
Absolutely love that. Providing that empathy, especially, as you mentioned, that there are other experiences that people have that we may not have experienced. And so that really is a great part of leadership. So speaking of leadership, and you have definitely demonstrated all different types of things. You've given us some great guidance as far as how to step into an international space. You've kind of even given us some of your blueprint as far as networking and volunteering, providing empathy when you're working with others in that space of leadership. So with all of that, with all of the amazing things that you're doing and still doing and will do in the future, what kind of leader would you say that you are in this space, as far as where you're going? So you're extrovert, all that wonderful wonderful things. So with the combination of all of that, being an extrovert, being empathetic, being edgy, being able to volunteer, being able to try new things, go into new spaces, what kind of leader would you describe yourself as?
Ah, man, that's tough because it's tough. Like I feel like I am mixed. Mixed. I'm like half servant, but half transformational.
Okay.
Because and they kind of work together. So maybe I'll create like my own leadership style. I don't know. Because it's like when I do speaking engagements and I go to conferences and things like that, and I'm even like within my book, I'm giving you that hope and trying to transform you into like and tap into your inner power. But I'm being a servant by sharing my experience and sharing my knowledge and sharing my stories and sharing the stories of others. So it's like, and I'm a servant from like helping businesses too. So it's kind of like I can't even say it's one more than the other. It's really like a blend of both of those. Being a servant leader, but also being a transformational leader too. It's like, yeah, so maybe I don't even know, trans for serve or something like that. Trans serve.
Transserve, I like that. You'll figure it out how to blend that, to blend that. I absolutely, I love that about you as far as that servant leadership. I did definitely get an opportunity to watch that firsthand especially when you were serving as the student president with the National Society of Leadership and Success. So I can definitely see both sides, both sides of that. Absolutely. So I look forward to hear that new term that you're going to come up with
Right.
to marry those two types of leadership styles together. Well, you know what? You just made mention of your book, and this is a great segue, especially as we begin to come to the end of our conversation. So you're getting ready to publish a brand new book. So excited, so excited. I'm already starting to get the buzz about it. And this is a great place for you to go ahead and start to share a little bit about your book. So tell us about it. Give us the title and just give us a little snippet about it.
Yeah, so the book I actually is done, it's written. We're going to see if the editors are going to change anything. But I think it's done, but we'll see. But the title of the book is called Unleash Your Inner Bad Bitch, right?
Okay.
It's out there. Oh, edgy Opulence, edgy. I'm edgy.
It's out there. It's out there.
But I look at it as bad bitch is brave, ambitious, determined. You're bold, intelligent, talented, creative, and heroic. Okay.
I love
We are
that.
all
Break
these
that down for us one more time, Dr. Vine. One more time. Give us that acronym once more.
brave, ambitious, and determined, bold, intelligent, talented, creative, and heroic.
Love that.
Right. And this book, because I started in January of 2023, and my dealt with a lot at home, with my husband like being sick, and like I am like his caregiver, I am a mom. I just moved to Texas last year, so I'm like still getting acclimated to my new surroundings and my new team, and my job is very demanding. And it's like all about like how can I project manage my life? I am good at my job. I know how to project manage a project, but how am I going to use these same skills to project manage my life? Because some days I just felt like so like overwhelmed and done. And still do like sometimes, you know, like we all like we're especially as a career mother and just like being someone that has a lot going on outside of work, and like a supreme multitasker. It's just it can be a lot. So how can you tap into that inner power to go ahead and keep it going, but also take these project management principles and convert them into work life management? How can I manage my work life? How can I manage my life using project management concepts? Because once you like dig so deep into project management, it is relatable to everything. It's already in every industry. So how come we can't convert that into your life? So tapping into your inner power, but also looking at the personal pieces of it, your mental health. I just started like a mental health, mental therapy, and going to like a therapist this year because like I just like, okay, I need to talk to somebody outside of my family. And doing like focusing on mental health, and because there's a lot of like physical like health journey, health as spirit, health mentally, health physically. That is a key piece of it too. And that can all be translated into project management practice as well. But then we're also addressing the toxicity of work, because the reason why I was so motivated to help my sisters and help businesses is because there were a lot of toxic things that happen at work that need to change. So that's the other piece of it too. So tapping into that power from all sides. We're talking work, we're talking home, and we're talking you. And that's what Unleash Your Inner Bad Bitch is all about.
Well, that's awesome. We're definitely going to keep a lookout for it.
Yes.
So so we can learn more about that on your website. Is that correct?
Yes, I do have it listed on my website, and I have a pre-sale separate link that I'll send out to you as well. That talks specifically about the book, and I have like a video and everything, so you can check that out too.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Well, Dr. Bond, as we are coming to a close, I know that you have a free gift for the audience on today. So tell us a little bit about the gift.
Yes, yes, yes. So I will give you 30% off discount off of anything from my fashion store for all the ladies out there, Afro Latina, Black ladies. I have t-shirts, beautiful jewelry. I love jewelry. Like jewelry is my life. Fashion is my life. I would never let that go ever, ever again. So I have some fabulous, fabulous pieces on my website. So I'm giving everyone 30% off discount code that will be sent to you as well. And you can use it as many times as you want. I don't care.
Awesome, awesome. So we're going to make sure that we put that promo code in the bio so that everyone can take advantage and definitely visit your store. But Dr. Bond, it was such an honor to have you on today, to spend some time with us, to give us some insight into your world. I just bid you great success in all the things that you do. Blessings, healing to you and your family, and happy Thanksgiving.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, so I don't know if this will air before we can get to Thanksgiving. I want to bless you, send blessings of happy holidays to you and your family from my heart to yours. Well, everyone, we want to say thank you so much for joining us for the Women's Leadership Mindset series. It was such an honor to have with us Dr. Syreeta Bond. Again, you can contact her on her website at www.edgyopulencebranding.world. You can also reach her on her email at edgyopulencelifestyle@gmail.com and follow her on social media. You can follow her on Instagram and Threads at The Fashionable PMP, and you can also follow her on X at Fashionable PMP. And for her fashion line, you can also follow her on Instagram at Lipstick Killer Co. Official. So we're going to make sure that we have this information for you in the bio, along with Dr. Bond's free gift and promo code. So you be sure to visit her. But as always, here's to the journey, and let's move forward.
Thank you. Bye. Happy holidays.